Peace, everyone. My name is Andita, and I'm an organizer with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. I firmly stand to demand Raimondo's administration to withdraw this multi-hub plan which harms riders in the entire transit system. Who makes Providence run? Rhode Island run? We do, right? Look around us. It's us, the working people. Majority black and brown workers make up most of the service sector commuting from places like Central Falls, Pawtucket. It's the students commuting to schools, families commuting to and from Providence. They are all part of the multinational working class residing in Rhode Island. They were excluded from this decision. During a global pandemic, there have been many demands put forward by working people of Rhode Island, like the cancellation of all rents and mortgages, more COVID testing, or free PPE. None of those calls have been answered by this administration. The plan to break up a central transit hub is a decision that is being made by politicians who are more interested in accumulating wealth and privileges rather than governing for the common good. Raimondo didn't present this plan to the people. El Raza didn't present the plan to the people. It wasn't proposed by any community processes, not by the transit riders or workers or the working class communities in this state. Instead, it's imposed from the top down by a class that doesn't even take public transportation. If our elected officials really cared about us, about what we want, they would include workers, students, and community members in a real democratic process of improving our public transportation. A plan wouldn't be pushed forward without our input, the input of drivers and commuters. There would be a community process instead of the privatization of community assets, and enough is enough. Governor Raimondo and Mel Arosa had presented this plan last year at a closed-door meeting to the Providence Foundation directors and board of trustees, right? A foundation that has Bank of America and Blue Cross Blue Shield executives as board members. We weren't invited there. The foundation has supported this plan with the idea that great public spaces such as Boston Public Garden and New York's Bryant Park do not have bus stops in their interior. First, we are not Boston or New York, right? And they should be giving it up for the people of Rhode Island. Second, the Providence Foundation, does the Providence Foundation know the cost of these redevelopments in Boston or New York? Boston and New York are notoriously known for being two of the most unreliable, unaffordable transit systems. The prices of New York Transit have gone up every year, averaging $3 for a single ride. There is no reliable weekend service. New York commuters often talk about how they get on trains trying to get downtown, then all of a sudden they have to go uptown instead. The services are inconsistent and unreliable. We have all seen pictures of New York City train stops packed to the edge of the platform because trains run late, if at all. Boston Metro prices are also rising every year. The subway system is so outdated, it's typical during rush hours that trains become disabled. During rush hours, people are trying to get to school, to work, and there's no space, and people have to wait 2 or 3 more buses or trains to pass before they can even get on. And that's what happens when decisions are made for profit, for greed, but not based on the people's needs. We end up paying more for something that serves us less and makes a small group of people richer. Breaking up the Central Transit Hub will take away our agency and literally keep our communities divided, keep us alienated from one another. Making workers commute longer takes away time that we could be using with our families, making it home to dinner on time, to see our friends and family, and it's time that we can't get back. When the mobility of the working class gets controlled, our power to collectively organize and mobilize gets eroded. It will make it so that we have to choose between attending organizing meetings with our co-workers, right, before it gets too late out. It's the difference of working parents have to make the decision of weighing out their children's safety, right, and independence for a commute that was shorter being broken up to multiple longer rides. This plan will just add hours to our weekly commute. And we need to see each other and build across towns and cities, and we have the right to mobility. Today, as every day, we must defend public transportation and public workers because we are the public, aka the people. What is the goal of the Rhode Island Department of Transportation? Is it to make our commute more accessible, more affordable, more efficient? They want to see a sanitized public garden, what they describe as aesthetically pleasing landscape, while they go to their new restaurants downtown and let their cars be valet parked. They don't want to see a diverse working class waiting at stops, taking the commuter bus. They want to consume the fruit of our labor while we have to jump through a confusing multi-commuting process hidden from their sight. And that's what they really think about us, like we don't know what's best for us. Peter Alvelti, right, the director of RIDOC, claims that consultants were hired to crunch commuting data to arrive at this plan. Who did these consultants optimize the plan for? Surely it did not look like it is optimized for commuters. Alvelti additionally claims that there's 3 goals for such a plan: to integrate the transit investment, connect our intermodal transportation, and economic development. Alvelti wants to get away with sugarcoating these lies at us. Economic development for whom? How will breaking up the existing centralized and optimized hub to make it so-called intermodal strengthen the public transportation system? Can they even tell us how it will benefit working people, improve our lives? This is all too familiar, especially as a Black person who has family that was negatively affected by development like urban renewal. Urban renewal projects cut off collective power of Black and Brown communities in American cities. RIDOC wants to make the Black and Brown folks who are using centralized transportation to be diffused across multiple disconnected points. It's no wonder urban renewal was called Negro removal. The continuing of development without democratic involvement of people is racist, it's classist, elitist, and must be stopped. And we're here to expose this plan. We demand Raimondo to withdraw this plan and better invest that $35 million of mass transit hub bonds to make public transportation of Providence and Rhode Island actually for the people.